Hey y'all, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the Z-52. This is a boss mode Z-52, where we carry hard for our team, because if we didn't, it would have been a loss. So I hope you guys will enjoy this game. My build is on the screen, and I recognize that my build is really weird. I have extended duration for my hydroacoustic, which is great. This is a 6-kilometer range hydro. Obviously the Z-52 benefits from that. Improved torpedo speed and incapacitation protection, faster rudder shift, improved concealment, better rate of fire on the main guns. Can get by with that because the Z-52 has super fast turret traverse baked in, so you're not really taking away from that. And then as far as the commander is concerned, priority target, last stand, survivability expert, concealment, radiolocation, basic firing training, and adrenaline rush. Long story short, we want to make our guns as good as we possibly can, and we also want our torpedoes to be effective as frequently as they can. That's the long and short of this build, and of course, we headed off towards the closest capture point, and there's a Petro. Also a kid, but there's a Petro using his radar. So in this moment I can choose open fire, because you are being radar spotted, or just hold your fire. So I basically hold my fire, confirm that yes indeed this guy will be outside of his radar range, and I decide to fire on him as he's trying to camp into his smoke. Now, you'll notice that the follow-up shot does not do damage to him. He has chosen to move, and as far as his movement, it just took him out of the capture point. So, we know that the Petro, the one radar ship that is in this area, has already used radar. So it would be advantageous of us to attack at this precise second, if we intend to capture the base. If we want to just contest, yeah, we don't really need to do that. But I like to get a capture early on so my team does not have as much pressure, because they will feel the pressure. As you can see, B point just went for the enemy. Enemy kid, he sent his one single torpedo launch. Poor little kid. And I decide, alright, since radar has been used and B point has been captured, go into C point. We do have hydro. We can deny the kid his smoke if he was using it, but we know that the kid bailed. We don't know where he bailed. We just know that he bailed from this capture point. And I decide, we're doing well. Maybe get an angle on the Kremlin. We could send torps, maybe. But I also wanted to get close enough to have my hydro spot the kid. And Petro is trying to corner camp. He's going to do a good job for a while. He's not the primary of this endeavor. The endeavor was, to find the kid who was trying, it looked like, to get around the outside to help maybe spot for his teammate. Either way, this is leaving us perfect position to take C point. Now, I was very, very worried that this play would have been too much. So I was just trying to get just enough extension that I can angle back my torpedo and fire at the Petro. But as you'll notice, it's pulling us into this Kremlin, who has decided to push forward as far as maybe he feels comfortable, and it pushed it right into my detection. So I immediately recognize that, I don't want to be spotted, obviously. Who wants to be spotted? So I'm going to sail quickly back towards the island to use it to cut. And of course, as we sail back, we have hydro still up. Enemy Shimakaze, worst possible play for him. He would have preferred me to not even know he was there. As it stands, we came back and we definitely recognized, and we definitely did really healthy broadside damage. That was a 4200 right there. He's also got a Cleveland as a backup, so I did not want to stay engaged for too long. Notice that the northeast side of the map, enemy team, they're pretty much winning it. So I've got to try and make a play safely without losing too much health. One of the key disadvantages of the Z-52 is, of course, it has no way of recovering its health in real time. So for me, it was more like, do as much damage as we can, but no point further. I felt that the Kremlin could be coming around. Sure enough, the Kremlin is coming around. Enemy Shima is also coming around. Clearly their plan was to converge at the same time. Well, my hydro still has 15 seconds. Long duration hydro is going to end up getting us a kill, because the Shima probably assumed, it's going to be done. I mean, it's been up forever. Well, it has been up forever, but not long enough. We take out the target. He sends all 3 sets, does nothing, because we're going to move out of this right away. And, you know, not half bad. We needed to get that kill, otherwise it was starting to be a pretty dire situation. But having 1 ship down, that's not too bad. You know, we can still easily come back in this game. Now, enemy Buffalo, enemy Cleveland, retreating. Clearly the enemy Kremlin has not made it to C point because C point is not being contested. And teammates do a really good job of following up on the enemy Buffalo. Just trying to keep them spotted. The sweet spot for spotting American heavy cruisers is somewhere in the realm of 11 to maybe 10-3, 10-2. You don't want to be at 10 because obviously radar. So I'm cautiously moving forward, hoping to keep the Buffalo spotted. We are aware of the Kremlin on the broadside. And currently there's a ship in line of sight. I couldn't openly fire and I don't have smoke, so I have to try the next best thing. And the next best thing could possibly be sending torpedoes or positioning myself so that there are multiple islands blocking any of the direct line of sight to some of these cruisers over here. And, oh yeah, you would also need that for the Kremlin. So it's not really a realistic expectation that that's going to happen. The more realistic expectation is to try and get the base captured. You know, we need this. Our teammates are obviously dying quickly. We have normalized the kill count, but the enemy has a little bit higher point total because they had 2 bases before we had 2 bases, and clearly C point is still being captured. So what does that communicate to us? There is clearly something other than the Kremlin contributing to this capture. So we do not want to rush in and kill ourselves. And how do I know this? Well, the Kremlin's clearly on fire and burning and clearly taking damage, and yet the capture point is still eventually ticking up. And it eventually ticks up, Kid captures the base, and what's that timing? Right on time. He shows up right in front of me. I use Hydro preemptively just to see him. Don't want any funny business, and we're just going to go to town. We've got this giant island that's blocking the Kremlin from returning fire. It's pretty much 1 versus 1 here. Couldn't have asked for a better position, and oh man, popping his smoke in this position, he is going to very much regret this choice if he ever stops. Obviously, by going fast, he's keeping it from being a trade, and uh-oh, Kremlin has seen us, but we did do just enough to bring up the smoke and immediately activate it as soon as possible. Notice the Kid dead, Hydro kept him spotted, and Hydra's going to keep us safe from torpedoes, so we can go to town on this broadside Kremlin. And if you're not making use of it as a German, shame on you. German AP on the broadside is a huge amount of damage, and enemy torpedoes. Now, these torpedoes seemingly might be coming from the Hirugamo because he's literally the only DD left on the enemy team. We're doing good, though. We don't have as much damage as I would like at this point, but I think we're going to gain more eventually. We've got good positioning on our enemies. We've got 2 base to their 2 base. We're going after targets, and oh, hello, Hirugamo. Gonna, of course, fire on this guy. He's super low, and he's in range. And plus, we're firing from in smoke. There's really no risk, and of course, we get spotted by radar. That's either the Petro, or it could be the Buffalo. We don't really know at this point. Enemy DD taken out. Nice. The Petro is still within 12, so it could very well be the Petro, and it is the Petro. So, because it was a Petro, short duration radar. There's nothing to fear from the short duration radar, other than they might get 1 shot off. Oh, big deal. 1 shot. I could still make use of my smoke, so I give ground, and I'm trying to keep the smoke plus the island in between my ship and the enemies. It's nice to know that we don't have to deal with a DD. DD obviously is a source of sort of chaotic spotting. They could very easily be around the corner, and then you open fire, and all of a sudden you're spotted, and everyone can fire on you. But as this game has come to this position, we don't really have a lot of targets that can reliably spot us without some long cooldown. So as long as I keep this island in between my ship and the enemies, and they obviously keep them spotted, I can do free damage. Now, we know where the Petro is. We know that the Kremlin's kind of close. He hasn't exactly entered the cap yet. We know that there's a Thunderer somewhere on the north side. That's what we know, but we don't know much more than that. Last known position of the Buffalo, the other, the Tirpitz, the twin Tirpitz, they're all really far away. So I was not wanting to rush out and kill myself, clearly. I wanted to rely on the island, and yes, enemy Kremlin enters the capture at A. Also, the Thunderer is shown up, so we know roughly where he is. So there's no real surprises happening here. We've got a really great position, and I've got really great torpedo angle. I can pretty much punish any ship that wants to come through. Now, note, Petro has used his hydroacoustic. That's going to spot our torpedoes immediately. We don't really want to send torpedoes under hydro. But, as I was backing away, it dropped off. So, was it still going? Did I just move back just in the nick of time before it actually hurt me? I'm not sure. But something is radaring us. And I'm not sure if it's Petro, because we know for a fact it was the Petro because of the duration. So, unless the Petro has every cooldown lowering skill in the game, this is probably the Buffalo. And, gosh, another short radar. So maybe it was the Petro, and the Petro was just so desperate to keep us spotted before he died. Obviously, it didn't turn out to get a kill on me, and he ended up dying to the Thunderer. So we're doing all right. We've got 5 seconds left on hydro. I really don't want to have to use this, but I will if it means trying to win the game. Don't be one of these people that waits to use your resource until there's nothing to use it on. If there's a very obvious scenario where the resource, like a hydro, would be very helpful, use it so you can get the win. So you can get a kill, and it's easier for you later on, and you have more health to conserve. That's how I would approach it. So, enemy Thunderer, broadside, obviously AP. Enemies capture the base. We do need to get a kill, and we need to do a lot of damage, in which we do not have a lot of damage so far, but broadside AP going to do tons and tons of damage. Obviously, AP broadside, aim at the top of the hull. Really don't want to deal with any of the Citadel pain that could happen by, obviously, lowering the shell to hit the Citadel. The Citadel's obviously going to force it to ricochet. And we're just paying close attention. Oh, hello there, Kremlin. Now, the island was in the way, blocking the bloom of the shots until just now. So if I wanted to, if I fired right now, I would be detected by the Kremlin. However, point-blank torps, we're just going to let them happen. And maybe he expected me to send torpedoes somewhere else. Maybe he was just tired of waiting. Maybe he was just trying to get kills. I don't know. It ended up killing him, and we lost a friendly. So we get a nice trade again. It could have been way worse. We could have not gotten a trade on the Kremlin, and we could have lost our teammate. But at least we got a trade. And, of course, another radar. It must be the Buffalo, because the Buffalo is the only source of radar now. And got to keep in mind the enemy Tirpitz. If you're a DD and you're under radar, just assume that everyone wants to shoot you. I would go third person, look at any shells that might be headed your way, and angle your ship appropriately. And we move outside of the Buffalo's range, so his radar is no longer useful at all. And, of course, the Tirpitz, they all decided to move forward. We don't have smoke anymore, so we have to be very precise with our usage whenever possible. I decided, okay, we got to take advantage of this. We have to try and get a kill because there's just not enough time. They have 3 bases to our 1. I just play the numbers game, and I'm over here like, well, we're kind of far away. Well, you're not far away from the Tirpitz, which we didn't want to be spotted by. But thankfully, his secondaries seemingly miss us. Good. We're going to drop off detection, and our teammate, the Vanguard, is actually going to keep these enemy Tirpitz spotted, and he does good damage to him. And I absolutely am going to fire on him. I don't want him escaping. We got about 250 points that we have to make up. We need this kill. And immediately regret firing AP when you see AP ricochet. But then we get a little bit of AP damage. It's trying to catch up to him. Teammates are also trying to help. They looks like they got a fire on him, which is great. And it does look like he is going to burn down. Is he going to burn down to me? Is he going to burn down to a friendly? He is trying desperately to keep alive. While that's going on, the other enemy Tirpitz is about to come outside the island. And we get Kraken unleashed. Nice. And I notice that the enemy Buffalo also is trying to come outside the island. So I've got to just stay in this really safe position, maybe blind fire, hoping to get a kill or hoping to get damage on the Buffalo and kill him from range without ever spotting myself. Again, we don't have any other choice. So we're just playing with the island while the Buffalo is thinking about showing tons of broad, and you can see we're thinking about switching to AP whenever he's broadside, because the Germans do a ton of work with it. And of course, he absolutely is broadside, and he will recognize, oh, AP doing damage, switching back. So then we're going to switch back to HE, which 32 millimeter plus penetration with it, it's outstanding against any angle cruiser equal tier. And we're just going to work him down. Looks like we've got one fire, another fire. Again, he's going broadside. Again, we're going to switch to AP. Again, he uses radar. And again, he dies. And that is the 6th kill. And all we have left is the enemy turrets. And this should be pretty easy. I did not see this coming this way. This game was definitely not decided. It was completely contested the entire way through. And boy, did the Z-52 really deliver an outstanding game. I really enjoy this ship. I love the AP. I love the torpedoes. Everything works really well. I love the smoke hydro combo. I don't have any complaints. You know, after refining my build to give me a little bit of guns and torpedoes, it really excels in pretty much every scenario I would want it to. And again, more medals everywhere. Oh god, we're gonna get the last kill, 7th kill, 7th kill. No, we don't get the 7th kill, but it is absolutely irrefutable. We contributed a huge amount to our team. If not for the Z-52 play and the decision making, our team would probably have lost that game. But thankfully, I did not get impatient, and I waited it out, and my teammates delivered a great supporting role, the supporting cast, to the main course, obviously the Z-52. 2,800 damage done, or 2,800 base XP, 6 kills, tons of medals earned. Really enjoyed it. Tons of AP, tons of torpedo. Everything that you want to see in your Z-52 on display right here. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent or the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do daily World of Warship videos, first impression, how-to, news, or review related. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.